Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in. Winning cures everything. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
It is Wednesday, December the 9th. I think that's right. Yeah, I think I got all my stuff together here. It's been one of those days. So hopefully everybody is having a good Wednesday afternoon. We are ready to talk NFL Week 14. We finally got Week 13 in the books last night. Got that thing knocked out of the way with the Baltimore win over Dallas. Yeti jumps in. What's up, guys? It's been a while. Hope you're all well, and we hope you are well as well. We're doing all right, I think. We're almost to Christmas time. We almost got the college football season wrapped up. We are getting there. So, cannot wait for 2021. Terry jumps in. He said, what's up? If you would like to jump in and be part of the show, you can. Whatever platform you are watching on, if you are on Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, all those different platforms will populate right here on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You can jump in and be a part of the conversation. You can help drive whatever narrative you want to. And I promise we will more than likely read it unless you guys are crazy today, in which case we will see. We're going to start off with some Ohio State and Big Ten talk. We're going to talk Dez Bryant. We're going to go through all the big previews for NFL Week 14, and we will give you our picks at the end of the show. Before we do that, go over to winningcureseverything.com. That's where you can find everything you need to know about us. All of our picks, previews, podcasts, videos, social media platforms, etc. Everything that we do is over there. You can follow us on all the different social media platforms. You can subscribe to the podcast at any podcast app. Literally, every one of them, we're on them. So go and check it out. Do us a favor, subscribe. If you're already subscribed, unsubscribe, do it again. And then, if you would, so kindly, leave a nice 5-star written review. We would certainly appreciate that. Again, hope everybody's having a good day. We did our SBR College Football Pick Show yesterday. You can go find that on YouTube. Just search out SBR Picks. You can also find it over at sportsbookreview.com, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. As a matter of fact, you can see it right there if you're watching the show, right there, right behind Chris, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Knock that thing out. Make sure you're subscribed everywhere you need to be subscribed, etc. So, Chris, let's go on and fire this thing in with the Big Ten talk. Now, we kind of knew this was coming, and I've kind of come around on it a little bit. I was very irritated with the idea that they would change their rules, and then you start hearing other people talk about, all right, look, even if they had played this game and lost to Michigan, or even if they just decide, you know what, we're going to forfeit, they still win the tiebreaker over Indiana. They would have 6 games at that point. 6 games, I guess, whatever. But it never made sense to begin with to have the rule where you had to play 6 games. But just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean that a rule is not a rule. Like, this is a weird year anyway. We understand that the rules are stupid to begin with, and the Big Ten has screwed this up from the word go. They released their schedule, and then they came back a week later and said they weren't playing football, and then they came back a month later and said they were playing football, but then they decided to play it too late. They didn't allow themselves time to put in bye weeks or any flexibility at all to reschedule games. So any game that was missed was just canceled. There was no room. And then on top of that, they did not allow their teams to play out-of-conference games. You saw that in Week 2 when Nebraska tried to schedule against Chattanooga. It has just been bumbled and fumbled and a complete train wreck from the word go. And it's not just Kevin Warren, but he is a big part of this. He doesn't have any good ideas, it doesn't seem like. If you had an idea, if you had something that you wanted to run with that you think is good for this conference, you can go in and you can persuade those ADs and those presidents to do something. Instead, he just sat back and let them decide whatever they want to decide, and then he will take the brunt of it. But this guy has been nowhere to be found since they said that they were coming back to play football. You haven't seen one interview. You've seen nothing from Kevin Warren. The only thing you've seen are documents, are press releases that are sent out to the media, and then you have all their little talking heads that are on the Big Ten Network and wherever else that get the word out for them. You don't hear anything from the conference, and it's the same thing this go-around. I'm irritated, and yet at the same time, I totally get it because Ohio State did beat Indiana head-to-head. That was going to be the next in line. The next in line after that was probably Maryland or Penn State, if you get to that point. So, the whole thing was a sham anyway. I would like to know your thoughts now that we know exactly what they're doing, which is they are fixing this thing so that Ohio State can go play Northwestern next week.
So my issue is not necessarily just putting Ohio State in. I don't like changing rules. You know how I feel about that. I believe that we have to all play by a set of rules. We have to. I do believe in structure, and I do believe in, if you're gonna have a rule, you should follow your rules. Okay.
Yes, your word is the only thing that is worth anything.
That's right. That's right. And we're learning that their word means nothing, and that's okay. That's all right. We live in a world where that's kind of pretty, I guess, accepted now. You don't get credit for being somebody who stands by your word, and you absolutely don't lose credit anymore for just changing your word constantly. So that's the new world we live in. And we've probably lived here for a long time,
oh, yeah.
and I was just in denial of that. And that's fine. My issue is now you're giving Ohio State 2 full weeks because you learned real early this week. By Wednesday, you are no longer playing Michigan. You're now playing Northwestern 2 weeks from now. Northwestern has to get ready for Illinois. And that's a rivalry game. That's a game that matters to Northwestern. And then they have to play Ohio State. Now, I know that everybody in the world is just going to say, well, Ohio State's better than Northwestern. They're going to kill them anyway. It doesn't matter if they had the bye week or not. It's still not equal footing.
Agreed. It's definitely not. Now, I do know this. We talked to our guys with the Westlake Pirates. That's our Northwestern Big Ten podcast. They brought up that Northwestern plays pretty bad. Like, they do not win coming off of bye weeks. And we looked up the numbers. They are 2-10 straight up coming off a bye week. So they probably don't want a bye week. A lot of that has to do with the matchups, right? It was Michigan and Wisconsin and Ohio State.
But that's fine. It's irrelevant. What's happened in the past is irrelevant. If it benefits this team to keep playing and it hurts this team to sit out because of rust and rest, then that's a completely different argument. The argument is it should be same for both teams. At least the ACC said, if we're going to monkey with one team, we're going to monkey with both of them so they both have the same situation.
Yeah. No, you're right. Casey jumps in. He said if they're going to screw Indiana by giving Ohio State another game, it should be a rematch against Indiana. Well, the issue right now is that Indiana had to stop all activities. They had to pause activities because they are dealing with the COVID outbreak. So it's kind of a problem. Darren jumps in. He said, hi, dudes. It's nice to see Darren in there. Terry said, you see they're changing the rules for Ohio State. Such crap. It's not our fault. Y'all talked about eating sushi off a naked model. Yeah, that happens. Casey said, or Iowa. Well, Iowa is on the opposite side.
But no, we're just trying to get them a game in, Gary.
Yeah, no. Agreed. Darren jumps in. He said, Ohio State is a cash cow for the NCAA playoffs. It shouldn't be about that, though. And that's my biggest issue.
We have to get away from that.
Yes. So the rankings yesterday that came out, and we'll talk about this on our Thursday podcast exclusive. It's absurd to look at what they're doing, because if you go based on anything other than eye test, then you have a completely different set of rankings. And forget eye test, right? Like, the fact that Louisiana beat Iowa State straight up, and now Iowa State is ranked number 7 in the country. I know Iowa State is playing really well, but they're also playing in the Big 12, who we know is, 0-3 against the Sun Belt this year?
Against the Sun Belt. But yet a team in the Sun Belt that has a win over that team is ranked not just behind them, way behind them.
Yes.
And they've got the same one loss.
Exactly.
And they've got a loss to an undefeated football team.
I put out my, how I would have fixed the rankings. And it was mainly a lot of, readjusting where they have them, right? I would have had Coastal Carolina up at number 7. I would have had Texas A&M number 3. I would, all these different things based solely on who is the most deserving, right? Texas A&M has the best loss. They got the best win. All these different things, all these different factors that you can come up with, and none of them would have gotten Iowa State up to number 7, especially not over an undefeated Coastal Carolina who has 2 top 25 wins that are higher ranked than the ones that Iowa State does, along with, I get so irritated. So back to this Big Ten mess. the biggest issue that we have is that Chris and I both wish at some point that ethics and integrity would be some part of what is going on here. It shouldn't just be about the money, and yet all these TV contracts, ESPN owning the playoff, all these different things have put us to a point where only the big boys matter. And we've talked about this forever and ever. And we're both fans of big boy schools. But
one's substantially bigger than the other.
Yes. Yeah, we can say that now. Yeah, we can certainly say that. Okay. But even still, we're fans of big boy schools, but we still believe that the way that this sport is set up is fundamentally flawed.
Yes.
You have to give other teams an opportunity. There has to be more to it than just, the recruiting rankings say that they should be a better team, or, it's Ohio State. Like, of course they're going to be better than whoever. It's like we saw the point spread for BYU Coastal Carolina. It was 10 points. That's and yet Coastal won the game. I mean, Coastal I had somebody came back at me on Twitter and said, because I talked about Texas A&M needs to be ranked over Ohio State due to more games played, a better win, all these different things. And he said Ohio State would –
and Clemson.
Yeah, he said Ohio State would be favored over Texas A&M by 13, 14 points. And I said –
doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Like, I don't I get so frustrated.
This is not how we claim champions. We play it out. That's how we claim a champion.
The games have to matter.
Yes.
Period.
Playing football has to matter. And if you're not playing football and everybody else is, that has to matter.
Yeah. Otherwise, what is the point? Like, what's the point of even playing the games? And I understand it's for TV.
If there is a God, if karma is real, Northwestern will find a way to win this game. That's what should happen. That's what should happen.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Notre Dame would find a way to win that game. And therefore, conferences that try to monkey with the schedule just to try to benefit their schools and their whatevers, they should all go down. They should all burn.
Yeah, I can get with that.
That's not going to happen.
No.
Because those things aren't real.
No,
that's
of course
not how
not.
It works.
Of course not. Darren said Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Alabama, and Coastal should be in. Nah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Ryan asked, does Chris watch college basketball?
No, yeah, in February. The end of February.
Yeah.
Pretty much last 2 weeks.
I watch.
Once football is over with. I shouldn't say that. Early February, once football is over with.
Yeah, like you get a month in and you figure out how these teams are doing before we get to March Madness. And that makes perfect sense.
I do just as good as everybody who watches all year.
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Because all the shit that's happening right now don't matter.
No, you're 100% right. The only thing that matters is gambling on the games. So, and I'm doing all right. I ain't doing bad. So, Casey said Ohio State was favored by 20 against Indiana, and look what happened.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. Now
this,
they were up.
That's why you can't take that. You just can't do that. Marshall was a 22-point favorite over
Rice.
East Carolina.
No, Rice.
Rice, I mean.
Yeah.
And Rice beat them by 20. That's a 40-point difference in the spread.
Yes.
This is why you just can't do that.
Terry said Chris just wants to watch it all burn.
No, I really do hate the people that run this sport. I do. I hate them. I hate them. I think they're terrible people.
Well, because they just make it more and more obvious all the time that it is about money. It's a cash grab. That's all it is.
I'm not even worried about that. I'm actually not even bothered by the it's all about money part. I have they break the what I'm not a moralist, okay? I'm not a guy that judges people on their morals of good and bad, or right and wrong, or all this stuff. I know. But there are certain things that do trigger me, that do set me off. And the concept of those who belong and those who don't really, really is something that don't sit well with the big dog, okay?
Yeah.
It just doesn't sit well with me. And maybe it's because I grew up, I was raised in a world in which I didn't belong, all right? Because of the family that I came from, we don't really belong in society, all right? Pretty low. Nobody knows my family's name. No, you don't get any benefits in a small town where what family you come from really benefits you in business and things of that nature. I don't get that bump. But also, within the walls of my family, I didn't belong. Yeah. And I never felt comfortable or accepted. I've lived in a world in which there's always been those who belong and those who don't. And I've always been one that didn't. And it's made me, it's contributed to how uncomfortable I am in my own skin and a lot of the ways that I was raised. But it's really shaped my outlook on life. And now that I am an adult and I'm a grown up, when I find a situation where there is a clear definition of you don't belong, that's one where I'll probably fight that fight, even losing all the way to the bloody end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you talked about it with the presidential election. Like,
yes.
You know, you vote for who you think deserves it, not
that's right.
Not one
I've
of the two.
I've never picked
whatever.
a winner, ever. And it's just happenstance. I don't know. I'm sure just happens that way. But it's just one of those things where I've never voted for a winner. I shouldn't say I've predicted who was going to win a lot of times. But it's just one of those things where I'm going to pick somebody that I believe in. It sucks that they have no chance because the rest of the world says you don't belong.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my issue with this whole thing, right? Like, it's not that it's not that Iowa State necessarily belongs, right? I love seeing them ranked as high as they are. It's the fact that they are ranked as high as they are because they're in a Power 5 conference. Like, that's the only reason. They're playing really, really well right now. But if anybody else had a 17-point home loss to Louisiana on their resume,
they would have a hard time cracking the top 15.
Yes.
With one loss.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, you know, it is what it is. Ryan asked, are you guys going to do NBA picks on a daily basis when the regular season starts? No chance. College basketball is it for me. I feel like college basketball players at least try. In the NBA, you're playing.
Get into that. I actually like the NBA. I watch the NBA, but I don't bet a lot on the NBA.
Well, it's partly
I'm
because
not somebody you want to get with that.
You have to be a psychiatrist every day. You have to figure out, like, all right, who's going to play, who's not. Who wants to play?
You don't have to bet every game. You don't have to bet every day.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is he was asking if we were doing picks on a daily basis. And there ain't no way I can do that.
Well, no.
Casey Marshall, shake my damn head. Let's see. Cruz said that's one reason why I like the NFL more than college because games matter in the NFL way more.
Me too. I'm talking over the last decade of my life. I grew up with just such a college football fan. And I liked the NFL, but I didn't love it. Man, the last, I say decade, Jesus, I was in college. And when I really started betting on this stuff and I really got into college football and learned how the sausage was made, yeah, I immediately just said, you know what? I'm going to go with the guys on Sundays. It's not perfect. It's got its flaws. It's got its problems. But you know what? They really care about parity.
Yeah, and every game counts the same.
Like every game counts the same.
Every win is a win. And you don't have to, like, try and justify the win. Oh, they beat whoever without their starting quarterback or whatever. A win is a win. And at the end of the day, it's based on record who gets in the playoff. That's it.
That's right.
You know, so it's about as even as you can get. And the playoff has, this year, 14 teams. So you can play your way in. So
correct.
Is what it is. Casey said they have to expand to 8 teams. That's all there is to it. No, I'm a proponent of 16. Like, make it easy.
But what you're asking for, I don't think we're ever going to get.
I'm looking for a complete systemic change in the sport, and that ain't likely.
But to my situation is if we got 16, I still don't want the people running it to pick them. That's the issue. That's the problem we've got. I'm okay with a 14 playoff. I need every person that has influence in college football to all get pushed off a cliff. And I need us to completely rehab the people who are making decisions in college football.
So I
need them all changed.
I look at
100% of them, a lot of them.
They don't like giving up. People that are in power do not typically like giving up that power. We see it throughout our country right now in a lot of different ways. With college football, it's kind of the same way. They like their power of being able to pick and choose teams, right? They want their cash cows. They want the teams that are going to bring the biggest ratings, all that kind of stuff, rather than trying to build a sport that will sustain no matter what. They just want their cash cows in all the time. So if they
all see short notice, they see 6 inches in front of their face.
Right.
They see right now, today, Ohio State will get us paid.
Right.
Years back when UCF should have been in, they saw, we got to let this other team in because they're bigger and they'll beat them. And if you let UCF in, if you let these little guys in a couple of years, could they be the next Ohio State? Could they be the next Alabama? But you got to start letting them, if they've earned it, you got to start letting them sit at the big boy table every now and then. And yes, the first 4 or 5 times you let them in, they're going to get their asses knocked off. Who isn't? Every 4 seed ever so far is just getting their ass knocked off. So it doesn't matter. Does it matter if it's Michigan State or if it's UCF, Washington? It doesn't matter. If they've earned it, let them in. Let them get knocked off, because in 4 or 5 times of getting there, they might figure this thing out. They might grow to a superpower. You don't know. You can't predict the future. And now you have one more big school bringing in a ton of revenue, and you don't have to monkey with things so much. You don't have to say, well, if we don't get Ohio State, ratings are going to tank. You do realize that UCF is the single largest university in the country, right?
Is that true? I know they are in the state of Florida.
Yes.
Man.
They have more alumni every year, year over year over year. So at some point in time, the next set of millionaires and billionaires are going to come from that school, and they're going to give back to that school. And that school has potential to be a monster if we let them.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing. You have to let them. And a lot of these guys don't like change. They don't like giving up power. So Terry said with all the crap going on this year, the NCAA could have opened it up for more teams in the playoff. So it was better, especially seeing as how it's all a money grab. Well, it's not up to the NCAA. This is a completely different entity. The NCAA does not crown an FBS champion in football. So McKinnon said, love the passion in college, love the way the game is played and structured in the NFL. Yeah, well, it's the same sport, only different, right? Cruz said 2020 is crazy. We still got Clemson, Notre Dame, and Alabama. That's another reason I like the NFL more. It's unpredictable. McKinnon said, why can't we just do top 10? Well, because then number 11 would be mad, I guess.
But that's a terrible argument. That's just a terrible argument. To say, though, the next guy will be mad is not a reason to not let somebody in.
I agree. So, but I think it would probably have to be 8. I don't think you could do 10. That'd be kind of a weird. I mean, anything's better.
I really don't care any number bigger than what we do. I don't like the idea of 6. 6 would piss me off, but I don't like bye weeks. So
there you go. Moving on, let's talk about Dez Bryant right quick. Good gracious. Like this mess last night. Dez Bryant is on the field, hugging everybody, hanging out, going through warm-ups. He's catching passes from Trace McSorley. He is ready to play against his former team. He's back on the field for the first time in, 3 years? Or was it longer than that? I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
But he was getting ready to play, and he had an inconclusive test, and it came back positive for COVID. And he gets off the field, and this dude goes on a Twitter tirade, the likes of which I haven't seen since Chad Ochocinco. I mean, Dez Bryant was so mad at this. He said he was quitting football. He said like a whole bunch of stuff. He started talking about drinking, and he was going through all the different businesses that he's involved in now, et cetera, et cetera. So the question then became, wait a minute, he was on the field like hugging everybody, no mask, all that kind of stuff with, Cruz said, Gary, don't you mean the GOAT, Trace McSorley? So the Dez Bryant issue became, hey, he's on the field. Why are we playing this game? Why aren't we contact tracing, et cetera? And I don't think a lot of people understand exactly how this thing works. It has to do with viral load. We've talked about this a ton. You have to be within 6 feet of somebody for 15 minutes or longer without a mask for that to be considered contact tracing, right? McKinnon said, so anyone taking bets on Dez being done now?
Well, Dez is done.
I think he is.
Dez was barely able to play this year at all. I think he played in 3 games.
Yeah.
He got, a catch in one of them, maybe 2 of them. Not all 3, I know that.
And I think with this, like the Twitter tirade was not awful. It was crazy to see in real time. But I think he is done with the process because he went through everything. He did everything he was supposed to do. He tested negative, and then all of a sudden he gets popped for a positive after an inconclusive test on the day of the game. The NFL said that if the game had been at 1:00 or at 4:00, he would have played.
Yes.
Any chance this is a false positive?
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not. This is Dez being insane.
What he was trying to figure out is he said, I have not been around anybody like that would have had this. Like I don't know
that he knows of. That's the problem.
No. What he's saying is he has gone through the same routine all the time. So other people on the team that he has worked out with, that he's been around all this time.
But you think that he lives alone? You don't think there's anybody in his life that he's around during the day?
Maybe. I mean, maybe
or in the
right.
evenings.
I don't know.
Evenings. In the evenings, right. Gary.
McKinnon said, any chance Jerry made some calls?
No.
I doubt that. I don't think he's that. I mean, he's a petty old man, but I don't know if he's that
I don't
petty.
think Jerry has that kind of pull. This is not college football. I tell you this. If it was college football, yeah, Nick Saban could make that call and make some shit happen. And nobody would ever know about it or find out about it because he's got that kind of pull and influence. Yeah. But this ain't college football.
Birdie said
the
tough
NFL
that it
does not do that stuff.
Birdie said tough that it was Dallas. I think even if he plays in that game, he may have been done after. He really wanted to play the Cowboys. Yeah, I really think that's what it was about. Like, he wanted to play against Dallas. Like, I don't think I don't think he cared about any of the other stuff. Like,
that's fine. I mean, but he did. Listen, they got an inconclusive test. When you get an inconclusive test, what do? You got to test them again because it was inconclusive. The new test, came back positive. So you got to pull him. If they don't pull him and we know that he got this positive test that late, you got a Justin Turner situation. We're gonna wait until the game's in hand, let him get a touchdown pass, and then pull him. Like, no, you can't do that. You either play by the rules that you made or you don't. Agreed. I don't always like these rules, but I am a rule follower.
Yes. Oh, I agree with you, and I agree with what they did. But it was
to
definitely
an extent. Let me generalize that. We're getting to a point where rules are about to get crazy, and I'm not opposed to becoming a rule breaker.
It was a very strange situation, and seeing it play out in real time was something we have not gotten accustomed to with the NFL yet. Hopefully we don't see it again, but you never know. You never know. So, you ready to go through Week 14 previews and picks?
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. All right. NFL Week 14, the previews and picks for the biggest games. Let's go ahead and dive in. First one up, Thursday Night Football. Tomorrow night, your Pats heading to Los Angeles to face off against the Rams. Rams are a 5-point favorite. The Rams, number 6 in the NFL in rushing defense. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong. The Pats looked really, really good last week against a rookie quarterback. I don't know. I think the Rams are going to be fired up for this one. Like, maybe I'm crazy. I think that they come out. I think that they handled the spread. I think they're built to be able to beat a team like the Patriots right now. Like, without Cam Newton being able to throw the football, I don't know how they win this game.
I don't either. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you that Bill Belichick has done crazier things. Okay.
Oh no, 100%. Yes. Like he absolutely he single-handedly can scheme up games to win games that he shouldn't. He absolutely.
All I know is this: you give me Bill, you give me points. I'm gonna take the points.
Zamora 60-90 jumps in. SB revenge game. Yeah, talking about Super Bowl. Yeah. Casey said Dez coming back to Baltimore was the worst place he could have went. He needs a quarterback that's accurate and has timing to help. Lamar isn't good enough to make him look good. Is what it is. The Rams being able to stop the run, they've been pretty good at it all year. That's what scares me here. I don't know that the Pats are going to be able to score a lot unless they scheme up and are able to make Jared Goff look as bad as they did a couple of years ago.
Well, I have no reason to think that they won't shut Jared Goff down and make this a super low-scoring game. Okay, the under is the play in this game, no matter what. I don't care if the number is. These teams aren't hitting 20. But what you got to remember,
total is 45, 44.5.
Yeah, no, this is going to hit in the 30s. That's happening. Jared Goff is no one that should scare you. Okay, so that doesn't worry me at all. It is, can the Patriots mount any kind of offense? You know, I don't know the answer to that. And yeah, the Rams have been really good against the run, but they haven't played a run team like this. I mean, everybody's good against the run all the time, and then they play Army, and then all of a sudden the Army runs all over them. It's like, well, okay. That happened.
I guess we kind of,
Yeah,
I guess we should have seen that coming.
It's just one of those things where you haven't played a team that's gonna run it every play.
That's true.
And that's true. And that's the issue. And so, I don't know. I don't know that the Patriots win the game. I'm just telling you, I believe you give me Bill, you give me points, I'm taking points. That's just a rule that I live by.
No, that makes perfect sense. Casey said, I love the Patriots money line. Rams are about to fade, and the Week 17 game against the Cardinals will be a win in your end game. Birdie said, Belichick did defend Goff really well. If Goff faces a good D, he really struggles. I like the under here, I think, and at 5, you have to like the Pats, in my opinion.
I'm going to tell you this. The other logic is simply this. Dogs have been covering at an astronomical rate.
Yeah.
An astronomical rate. Last couple of weeks, the week of Thanksgiving is the last time I remember actually breaking it down. And favorites were 5 and 11. All 16 teams played that week.
Yep. We
got all 32 teams played. We got all 16 games in. Dogs went 11 and lost 5 in the cover. I'm just telling you, if you're struggling with a game, take the points.
Just take the dog. Yeah, just take the dog.
Give it a shot. It didn't always work, obviously. You took the dog last night, you got your ass bit. That happens. But, I mean, that's also a very different situation, and you're betting on a bad football team.
On Monday night, both dogs covered. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's the way it goes. McKinnon said, I believe it all depends on which Goff we see. He has moments where he looks like a real franchise quarterback, but most of the time he's a pure system quarterback that's just okay. LA Lakers 2020 champions jumps up. He said, what's up, fellas? What is up, brother? Let's see. Birdie said, so I'm really struggling this week so far, so my comments or conversation to figure it out this week. So, yeah, I think that's we kind of talk ourselves into games and out of games when we jump in here and do this. So that's why you see us, like, I have an idea of the direction that I want to go, but when Chris and I start going back and forth with games, we kind of figure out on the fly which way we want to go. So, Birdie said Newton had 60 yards passing and they won 45-0. Damn, I'm struggling. Yeah,
Newton hasn't broken 100 yards, I don't think, in 3-4 weeks.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Moving on to Sunday, this is the noon slate. We got 3 games in this slot that we're going to talk about. Cardinals at the Giants. Giants are a 2.5-point underdog at home. I believe we're still rolling with Colt McCoy this week. Kyler Murray has not looked good, and I think he's still injured, man. Like
he's hurt. He's hurt. He looks bad.
Like I don't know that he's going to be 100% by the end of the season. So
no, he's not getting better. He's not going to get better.
Yep. So it's weird. The Giants have been underdogs every week, other than like a favorite against Washington at one point. I kind of like the Giants here.
This Giants team reminds me so much of Miami last year. Just ain't a damn lick of talent on the team, really. They're struggling athlete-wise. If we were drafting sides, you'd take 7 Cardinals players before you took the first Giants player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it hasn't mattered. They just fight like hell. Judge has them fighting hard and believing they can win games that they should not be in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
I think this defense is good.
Yeah, I think they are too. And I don't like this Cardinals team right now. Like they're not playing cohesively. The defense isn't really showing up. I don't think Larry Fitzgerald is going to play this week.
A couple of weeks back, everybody wanted to crown their ass, and I said, hold on, let's time out.
Yep.
Let's take a breather. Do we really think this coach has just turned the corner and now he's an elite coach in football, or is just some wacky shit happening? And I think we're learning that Kingsbury kind of getting out coached almost every game.
It sure seems like it. It sure seems like it.
Because they sure got more talent than most of the teams are playing.
Oh, yes. Yes, they do. But as we've said before, when Kyler Murray is not 100%, this team struggles. They just struggle.
That's why you got to scheme some stuff up. You got to draw some stuff up. And Bill's winning games with a guy throwing 60 yards. You got to figure it out, man.
Yeah, you're right about that. Alonzo Chico said, I really wish they would make an exception and let 8 teams play in the playoffs. I don't know if he's talking about college or pro.
He's got to be talking about college because the pros have way more than 8.
Well, I was wondering if he was talking about 8 per division. Because we
already have 8 on each side already. That's how it normally is. Now they're having 9.
No, it's normally 6 on each side.
Oh, 6. That's right. They
normally, and then they were doing 7 this year, and it would have been 8 if they had missed a game at any point. But
I think he's talking about college.
McKinnon said, at this point, do you just put your backup in and let Kyler rest for the remainder of the season? They're still slightly in contention for the playoffs, but I wouldn't bet on them making it.
I think that would be the smart move. The problem is if you're Kingsbury, I would do that for the franchise. You're protecting your franchise quarterback, but also you're protecting yourself. You're protecting your image in the sense of if you keep putting him out there and you keep getting beat, then it looks like you're the problem.
Yeah, because nobody's going to blame it on an injury. They're just going to think, the coach can't figure out.
If he's healthy enough to play, then he's fine. Like in a year of which everybody's missing dudes, nobody gets excuses. I've said this a million times. Every time Gary brings up, they were missing this guy. No. I don't want to hear missing anybody, okay? Everybody's got a shitload of opt-outs. Injuries are a thing. COVID is a thing. We're all playing by the same bullshit, okay? We're all dealing with the same problems. So you don't get an excuse for injuries.
Hey, Birdie saw a really interesting trend as far as this game goes. He said, I did see a trend when a double-digit dog wins straight up. They are 23% against the spread the next week. Said Murray's been hurt. If the Cards don't win, playoffs are done for the Cards. Let's go slow on this one. So that's the thing, right? I like the Giants here anyway.
Who was a double-digit dog?
The Giants were against the Seahawks.
Did they close the double-digit dog? I thought that line was like 8.
Yeah, no. It was double digits.
I do not remember that.
Let me pull it up. I'll tell you. Let's see. Sunday night they closed. Let's see. 11 at most spots, 10.5 at others. There's a couple of spots it was like 13.5. God bless. Bookmaker had 13.5. Just Bet had 13.5. But Heritage was 10.5. Bet Online was 10. Intertops was 11. UWager was 11, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it was double digits. But yeah, they won straight up, and I mean it was surprising. But yeah. Let's see. Birdie said Murray has no choice but to risk death on this one, or their year's over. I lean Cards, but totally understand the Giants look. I do lean Cards in this spot because they are now cornered dogs. Well, part of the issue is they are still favored here. So, which I don't understand it, but it is what it is. I do like the Giants. Are you, as far as this show is concerned, you taking Giants?
No, that's a gambling pick.
Okay. Moving on, Vikings at Tampa Bay. So the Buccaneers are a 6.5-point favorite at home. The Bucs' run defense has been pretty good. And if you shut Dalvin Cook down, it's tough for Kirk Cousins to get going, right? I'm talking like fully shut down. And not many teams have been able to do it. I kind of feel like Tampa Bay is going to be able to. This is one of those spots at home. You got to win. Obviously the Bucs not a great record, but they've kind of come on in the last couple of weeks. This isn't a primetime game. This isn't one of those where I feel like they're going to get beat. I think that they are better than the Vikings. I think they're going to cover the 6.5.
Man, I'd like to see it happen. I'd like to see them kick somebody's butt one time, but I don't know. Them as a big favorite, they just haven't looked good. Shutting down this run game, it's a little scary.
Yeah,
that's a tall task. Now, giving Kirk Cousins fits, that's not really a tall task. That's kind of an every other week thing. He just kind of gives himself fits, so that could easily happen. I don't know, man.
Let's see. Lakers said Tom Brady or Tampa Bay has got Brady. That man's a dog. He's a beast. And he also said, "Hey, by the way, is that Joe Burrow dude going to be fine? Hope that injury didn't end his career."
Shouldn't end his career,
yeah.
But is he going to be fine is yet to be determined.
Yep. I mean, we'll see. Like he's already come out. Doctors have said like he'll make a return next year. He's going to have to rehab, et cetera, et cetera. But we shall see. Casey jumping back in. Bears are making the playoffs. I'm telling you, Rams or Cardinals are getting booted. I think it would likely be Cardinals if that is the case. But what have you seen out of the Bears to make you?
I don't know, man. He has been all over the Bears for a while.
I know.
I don't get it.
He said AB is going to go off in Minnesota.
That wouldn't shock me.
Nope. Michael
Minnesota
said
secondary lets everybody free.
Michael Curtis said, "I see Tampa Bay after a bye week coming out and throttling the Vikings."
So that's the one thing is Minnesota's secondary is bad. They're really bad. Yeah. Everybody's scoring on them. Everybody throwing on them. And this might be one where Tom and the receiving crew just get healthy.
Yeah.
They get right. Anybody who hasn't caught a ball is catching a ball this week, and we're just going to spread the love, throw the football, and sling it around a little bit and see if we can have some fun.
Cruz said Giants playoffs. Let's go. Best division winner ever. Birdie threw in a, did you know Kirk Cousins is now a top 5 rated quarterback in the NFL this season? I can kind of believe it because, fine. I mean, there's, who is there?
This is one of those situations where stats lie all the time.
Yes.
So statistically, he might be. That could actually be very true.
Yeah, I can get with that. McKinnon said, I feel like the only way to get around not using Dalvin is to come out swinging on the pass game to try and open up the running lanes. Got to punch him in the mouth to surprise him. Okay, I could see that. I will tell you this. I think that Tampa Bay is going to be able to do whatever they want to do offensively. I think they will be able to keep the football, and that's one of the biggest things with Dalvin Cook is keep the football away from him. I think they're going to try and run it quite a bit, but you got to look for some of these not big plays down the field. But Tom Brady is fantastic in the short yardage game. I mean, so I would look for that as the way to win this football game and the way to cover. Because I think they win by at least a touchdown, and I fully expect – I think this is a double-digit win for the Bucs. So,
yeah, I'd like to see it. I hope you're right. So,
Chiefs at the Dolphins. Dolphins are a 7-point underdog. 100% of the bets so far offshore, at least according to SBR, are on the Chiefs. And the line is still staying at 7.
Yeah, that's it every week though.
Yeah, and it's still it's Wednesday. We get it. So,
but that's the Chiefs. I mean, they're gonna pull the public every time, and they're also pulling most of the sharps every week.
So, and with that said, this line opened at 7.5. It's come down for whatever reason. I am going to take Miami because I don't feel like anybody is going to be on Miami. I think the Dolphins have a good enough defense. I don't think that Kansas City looks at this as a threat kind of game. Now we could see it where they come out and just throttle everybody down the stretch because they realize they got a shot to get that bye now.
If they play their best game, there's nobody in the league that can hang with them.
Agreed.
The problem is with that you're going against is they didn't play a great game last week.
Yes.
And I never want to be the team playing them after they kind of look like they walked through a football game.
That's a valid point.
I don't think they're going to sleepwalk 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Now we have seen it a couple of times.
No, we have. That's right.
But yeah, I side with you. I get what you're saying.
This is a train I ain't ever stepping in front of.
I will step in front of it. I will take the Dolphins. McKinnon said Dolphins could absolutely give the Chiefs that second loss of the season. They're a scary good team where their record doesn't show the caliber of the team. Yeah, I mean their defense is absolutely legit. They play fantastic, fundamentally sound special teams. They play in their gaps. This is a disciplined football team. They've been pretty good. Tua looked good last week. We'll see what happens. I think the Dolphins can hang in this ball game. I think it can be really close. LA Lakers said, what teams did you guys run with? Let's see. What teams do you guys run with till the day you go down? I'm like Alabama.
What fans are we?
I guess so, yeah. I'm an Alabama fan in football and basketball as far as college goes. We're both Grizzlies fans. I'm a Steelers and Titans fan in the NFL. So Chris is Browns and Pats, and then LSU in football. So college basketball, I mean, is it LSU? Is it Memphis?
I don't care. I don't have a fandom in college basketball. I like Memphis, but I like Memphis football too.
Yeah, there you go.
I like a lot of teams.
Yeah. We a lot of times
I hate a few.
We pull for coaches a lot. Yeah. Like we like Jamie Chadwell right now for sure. But we got some guys that we like. Casey K jumps in. Dolphins get blowed out. Book it. Okay. It's possible.
That's a conventional thought.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. Let's hop off the comments. Let's move into the next game. Sunday afternoon. We got Colts and Raiders. Raiders are a 3-point dog at home. They have not looked good lately. They got whipped by the Falcons 2 weeks ago. They go to the Jets last week and need the Jets to completely cock that thing up in order to get a win. They are still in the playoff hunt somehow, but they're not playing well right now. It's only a 3-point line, and I feel like it's just a matter of time before they get it kind of fixed. But I have to. I mean, I have to put money on the Colts, right? Like that's the only way to play this game.
I don't know, man. I want to stay as far away as I can from this game. I don't want any part of it. I don't. And for the show's sake, I take the dog. Especially because it's 3.5. Maybe I get a field goal win out of the Colts. I don't know.
Hey, on Periscope, hey, thank me for my service. Came in and said Rivers is a minority owner of the Raiders.
Yeah,
he has had.
Yeah,
he's had a lot of success against them.
That was a long time ago, though, man. He's got a lot of games with LT and Gates, and I mean,
yeah.
That's why when you played in the league for 20 years, we just can't look back and see what your career looked like 15 years ago, man. That doesn't matter today.
See, McKenna jumped in, and he said Gruden gets his boys right after the past few weeks, question mark.
I don't know. So I thought last week was a good get-right week.
That's what I thought.
You look like shit the week before. You look like hell. Good luck. You got the Jets. Let's go in and kick the shit out of them. And you struggle, and you look like crap.
The last 2 games were on the road. Maybe they go home and they feel better. They're more comfortable, whatever. Maybe. But you're betting on something that you hadn't seen in a little while.
Yeah.
And that's what gets weird about this. And we know the NFL's crazy. Like any team can win any weekend. It is what it is. Right. But that's what you're betting on. You're hoping that they get right. And I mean that's yes, I will likely stay away from this one because I don't know what to expect. Birdie said, I'll lean with you on Indy, Gary. I just worry about that foot of Rivers. Texans probably should have won last week. I lean Indy with you. Yeah, I mean we got 2 points total in the second half against the Texans last week from the Colts. Like that ain't good. Now the defense showed up. I mean, they allowed 0, but I mean, who knows? Who knows with it? This is the exact definition of a coin flip game. Exact definition of it. So, moving on, staying in Sunday afternoon, we got the Packers at the Lions. Lions plus 7.5 at home. Second game without Matt Patricia, and I'll go ahead and tell you, this is one of my gambling picks. I like the Packers here a lot. Aaron Rodgers in a dome, division game. Lions, not just the Lions, but so far, over the past however many years, the second game after your coach has been fired is the one where it all comes crumbling back down to earth, right? The game immediately after, everybody's fired up, there's change, there's new life, there's whatever. And then the second game, it's back to the reason why the coach got fired in the first place. I think the Packers absolutely roll here. They're 9-3. They are ready to rock and roll this thing. Her face looks hella squished. Said, I love this channel. Y'all are hilarious. That's more so Chris than me, but yes, I'm with you. You feeling the Packers this week?
Nope. Nope. I'm taking the Lions, man. I'm taking the Lions. So this year, when both coaches got fired before the Lions coach, I said the same thing. And the second week, they both covered, if not won the game. Atlanta won the game 2 weeks in a row. And I think Houston just covered the second week, but still lost. I think the Lions are a much better football team than we've given them credit for. I think this Packers team is still very flawed, very, very, very flawed. And there are no great teams in the NFC. Nobody scares me. Get more than a touchdown, I'm pretty much just going to take the dog. For my gambling picks at Bet Online, you get this game at 9.
At 9? I see it. Yeah. Ooh, okay. I can get down with that. Matt said Aaron wants that MVP. McKinnon.
That's fine. He might want it. He ain't getting it.
Yeah. Cruz, I will say this about the Packers. They got their guys healthy now. And that's a big part of my reasoning here. Casey said they should have lost to the Bears. Talking about the Lions. Yeah, I mean, but look, you need a little luck in the NFL every now and then. Cruz said the Lions have been rebuilding since 1957. Michael Curtis said shootout in this game for sure. Her face looked hella squished. Did you see this comment? Dude with the red shirt looks like he would smother someone with a pillow on their first date. Oh, so much hate, man.
I'm a very gentle lover.
Hey, Hey, for the Raiders, I didn't realize this. No Jacobs, no Abram for the Raiders this week.
Well, I knew no Jacobs.
I didn't realize that. And so, either way, I still don't know who's going to show up. I mean, they might still play out of their minds. Thoughts on AB sleeping in the bed with Brady and his wife? That's crazy. Did you see that?
That didn't happen.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
Oh, Lord. Let's see. Birdie said that line tells a story. In my opinion, the Pack are going to be in every teaser this week. Books are giving you a gift here for the Pack. That's all. That always works for me, or always worries me. Sorry.
Yep.
Maybe so. I mean, maybe so. I don't know. I like the Packers a lot. But hey,
I like the lines a lot.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's a gambling pick of mine.
Well, that sounds like a plan to me. All right, moving on. Hey, we got Jalen Hurts starting a game. We got the Saints at the Eagles. The Eagles are a 7-point dog at home. Jalen Hurts starting his first NFL game. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I think that the Saints are going to absolutely roll in this spot because I don't think Jalen Hurts is ready to be an NFL quarterback. And it feels easy. Like maybe it's too easy. But tell me why I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all. I don't think this Eagles team is good at football. I don't think Jalen Hurts. The Saints have an entire week to prepare for him. Hey,
if you're the Eagles, why would you announce this? Like, what's the purpose?
I don't know.
Like, I really don't understand why you would not, like, just go up all week. And it's not like the NFL doesn't prep for every possible opponent, but, like, what are we doing?
I don't know. I think I can't stop reading the comments. I'm sorry.
So for anybody on the podcast, her face looked hella squished. Said, "Yo, a leopard just walked past your screen. WTF?" He said, "Get the shotgun quick." That's Suki. That's the Great Dane. So
that dog's getting close to getting the shotgun anyway. So we're almost there. Don't worry.
Oh God,
we won't be walking across the screen this time next year. I guarantee it. Sorry, Gary.
No, you're good. You're good.
I don't know why they do this. The only thing I can think of is are they? This has got to be a situation where the GM is just trying to save his job, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't. But how does this save your job? Like winning saves your job, right?
No. If Jalen plays well, then it. I guess it justified the second round draft pick of Jalen after you paid your quarterback $30 million a year. I mean, they still have over $100 million tied up in Carson.
Yes.
So even if you hit on Jalen, you still don't get the benefit of the rookie contract because that's over the next 3 years. That's when Jalen's rookie deal will be up, and you got to pay somebody. So, or just draft another one, which I don't think Jalen's lasting that long.
Yeah, McKinnon said Doug Peterson out after this year? And
no, he won't be fired, but I do think his pants getting a little warm. Well, I think his seat's getting hot.
He said they announced so the fans wouldn't burn down the stadium.
Yeah,
I mean that's
I do think Eagles fans are done with Carson. The problem is he is locked up. The only way you move on from Carson is if you eat that salary. I mean, I do think there are teams that would take a chance because every offensive coach thinks they can fix broken guys, but they're not going to take him for nothing. Okay. And they're not going to give him all that money.
Yeah.
You basically have to, you pay 50% of his salary and we'll make you a fair trade.
That could be all right. Like that could be cool. Ryan said, I think Chris is a better quarterback than Carson. I mean, maybe
that's not true because I'm pretty unathletic. I'm the largest person I know, and I'm only 5'10". So that's a bad quarterback metric situation with a really weak arm too.
Casey said because they want bettors to bet the Eagles, that's why they announced it, and it's working. But the Eagles don't have anything to do with that. Like,
yeah, I
they
just
don't
think
care
it's
who.
Foolish.
Yeah,
I think this is dumb.
Let's see. Birdie said another spot where the books are giving the whole world teaser play. The line has not moved with Hurts being announced. This one looks real fishy. I mean,
You can say it looks fishy all you want. I don't care. I'm not getting into that. I'm watching what I've seen on football. I'm trying to not play the game of what are books thinking anymore, because I've seen books try to push you one way and they've been dead ass wrong. And I've seen them push you that way and they've been absolutely right. I'm just trying to go with what I believe based on what I've seen in football. Jalen Hurts is not an NFL quarterback. He's just not.
Matt said Jalen looks like that guy who puts his head down and works. I think he'll be a solid quarterback in the future. Maybe not superstar, but reliable. And yeah, in the future, maybe.
I think he might be a backup, but he's got to be. You got to be able to throw the football.
Yes,
you got to be able to throw the football.
Yes. Casey said trade him in 2021. It's not as hard a hit. Yeah. McKinnon said Jag's going to pick up Wentz.
It's still $30 million. It's still $30 million. Even if it's for 2 years, it's still $30 million.
Yes.
To have a guy that's not good.
Hey, this one said Chris out here doing podcasts. I said put that dude on a damn football field.
No, I'm not. I'm not athletic at all. Not at all.
Let's see. Ryan said Saints are going to win by 20 points, and that's kind of the way I'm leaning here.
I think that Sean Payton's not getting caught off guard by this.
Nope.
Okay, he's not going to find. If there was anybody that could win with Hurts, it's the other coach on the other side of the field.
Yeah, it's Sean Payton. Like he'd figure out something.
He's undefeated without Drew Brees. He's going to be just fine.
Yep, I agree.
He's going to remain undefeated without Drew Brees.
Washington at the 49ers. And this one's being played in Arizona, of course. So 49ers did not look good against the Bills. They came back, scored some points late. Do we want to say got back in it? I don't know that they were ever in it. Matt said, you don't want to relive our glory days, Chris?
I don't know that I ever had any glory days. I was taken out in the middle of my sophomore year. So yeah. I didn't get many glory days after that.
So I really like the football team, but I wonder, Ryan said the 49ers pass defense looked so bad. But I will tell you this, the Bills make everybody's pass defense look bad. Like they just do. When you got a guy like Diggs that can completely take the top off the defense, you're going to have to, especially with the running quarterback and in a stable of running backs like Zach Moss and
you got to be able to play man-to-man. The 49ers played zone the entire time, and Josh Allen ate it apart. Receivers were finding the holes in the zone and just getting wide open.
Yeah. I don't know that Washington has the wide receivers that the Bills do, but
they don't.
And I don't know that Alex Smith is the same quarterback that Josh Allen is. Like he can't take the top off of it, and
he's not.
So that's where my problem is, and that's why it's such a short line. It's 3.5 right now. I still kind of like Washington a little bit. I worry about it.
I'm going to keep riding the football team. It scares me. So let me tell you what scares me on this one, actually. This is the reason I would take the 49ers. Not a play of mine. I'll figure this out come Sunday. I think Shanahan hate is big for Dan Snyder. I think the football team has changed its image in its ways, but the same son of a bitch still owns the team. And he was really, really dirty to the Shanahans.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling young Kyle might have a little something for old Dan in this game.
You might be.
That's the only reason I would take the 49ers. Right now, the 49ers don't look great.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
Washington, the football team defense looks really good. Really, really good.
Her face look hella squish said, when is the Super Bowl anytime soon because basketball is about to start, and honest predictions. And I'd probably roll Saints and Chiefs, I guess.
That's too chalky.
Somebody coming
out of the NFC's coming out. The Chiefs definitely. The NFC's a wild card, man. There's 9 teams that could come out of that thing, and it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right about that. Let's see. Bertie said, what does Gibson's status? Need to wait to figure that out before I make he is out this week.
Yeah, so, I think he's out.
Yep, he is out this week. Chiefs-Packers is what Casey said. And the Super Bowl is the first weekend in February, unless they decide to move the schedule around, and it doesn't look like they're going to. Like, they are getting these games in one way or another.
We're good right now.
Yep, you got that right. Moving on, Sunday Night Football. The Steelers at the Bills. So the Steelers finally took that L on Monday, and now they get to go to Buffalo.
That's not Sunday Night Football.
What did I miss?
Sunday Night Football flexed.
No, that's for next week. Next week is the Browns and the Giants.
Thought it was this week.
Nope. This week it's the Steelers.
Well, I know it's not the Giants.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not the it's Giants Browns next week because they flexed the Cowboys out of it for next week.
That's right. That's right.
So which is
Carry on.
like never happened. Like super weird. So we have got the Steelers and the Bills. Bills are a 2.5-point favorite, total of 46 here. So the early line was the Steelers minus 2.5 on the road.
Yep.
They get beat at home by Washington, and the line completely flips. And it's now Bills minus 2.5.
And the Bills won that night, too. So.
Yeah. So Ryan said Josh Allen's due for a bad game. I'm telling you, I think that the Steelers are in trouble without Bud Dupree. I think they are in serious trouble. He was underrated, I guess you could say. There was not a lot of talk about him. TJ Watt can't do what he does without Bud Dupree there. And maybe they've got a guy that can show up, but I don't know.
Let me tell you why the Steelers are going to struggle in this game. They couldn't get a yard when they needed it multiple times in that game, and they haven't all year. They cannot run the football, and there are times in a game when you have a lead where you have to 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, you just have to get first downs to chew up clock. That's all you have to do, and they cannot do it. Also, Big Ben cannot throw the football farther than 10 yards. So you get to play press man on the receivers and load the box against them every play. Now, those receivers are crazy athletic, and if he can hit them in stride and they catch the ball clean, they can go. But that's all them. This offense is bad. I said this all year long. I have no idea how they were undefeated as long as they were. They are the most fraudulent team I've ever seen, and I caught a lot of hell for it. I think there's a world in which outside of that Bengals game, Steelers lose out.
I mean, yeah, there is a world where that happens. They do get James Conner back this week. So
I don't know that James Conner changes things.
I don't know that it does either. You need that offensive
run
line
game
to be
is
able to dominate.
bad. They weren't running the football with him.
Yeah.
That run game is bad. With James Conner against the Cowboys, they had like 60-something yards rushing.
Ryan Johnson.
That's against one of the worst rushing football teams in the country.
Oh yeah, one of the worst rushing defenses for sure. Birdie said Bills D getting healthy, they're starting to rev it up. Bills in a tough spot off a tough travel week. Steelers can't run the football. Leaning Bills, but Allen still has not won that big game yet. I guess this is a big game. This Sunday Night Football. This is a primetime spot against.
This is absolutely a big game. Absolutely a big game.
I would side Bills here. Like obviously I don't want to, but yeah, I think that's the right pick. My service said outside the Browns, right? And no, I think the Browns could beat them. Like absolutely. Casey said Browns lose to the Ravens and Steelers lose to Bills, Colts, Browns lose to the Ravens, Steelers lose to the Bills, Colts, and Browns. Browns win the division, get the number 2 seed.
It's a world which could happen.
Yeah, it could absolutely
the Browns
happen.
could win out.
Yeah.
They got to play a lot better. I need to see Baker when he could get pass rushed. We're going to see that this week.
Yep.
And we'll see it next week.
You have got that right. Finally, we will move to Monday night. We got the Ravens at the Browns. Browns are a 1-point underdog at home. The Ravens beat them like a drum earlier this year.
Week one,
yeah.
First game of the season.
And what was it, 40-6?
Yeah, it was an ass thrash.
It was a beating of epic proportions. Ravens, of course, dealing with COVID issues for weeks now. Ryan said, do you guys bet player props? It depends on the weekend. We don't do it for the show, but sometimes.
I don't. Hey, there's a guy, you want player props, there's a guy, what's Kyle's handle?
DFS Bachelor. So
DFS Bachelor does a lot of player props. He works for SBR doing their NFL stuff.
Oh.
He's good. He's my guy. Last couple of weeks he bitches a lot whenever things don't go his way, but that's fine.
He is really good.
I still love him. He is good. So he's the guy you want to follow if you like player props.
Let's see. Cruz,
I'm about to mute myself and yell at my dog.
You're good. So Cruz said, in your opinion, favorite NFL rivals? Mine is Giants versus Cowboys. I think mine would probably be Steelers and Ravens. But then, Giants Cowboys is fun, but the other one I think is completely underrated is Falcons Saints. Like that one, there's real hatred there. So other than that, there's not a ton of real hateful rivalries in the NFL. Like, it's just, Chris, get the get the pillow of that dog getting off.
No. No, I will tell you, I got to jump his ass when he starts doing stuff. But I've never had a dog I love like this dog.
Well, and your dog is not old. Like,
no, he's only 3 years old.
Yeah, yours is young.
He's a little shit sometimes, but I've never been this emotionally attached to a dog before.
McKinnon said watching Chris muted to get on his dog is one of the funniest things I've seen lately. Bertie said, whole world's going to be on the Ravens, I think. I like the Browns here a lot. This is the week the Browns announced they're for real. Stefanski wins Coach of the Year after this game this week.
Listen, there's a world in which it happens. Baker has to play well. He has not played well with a team that can pressure him. The Ravens are going to pressure him.
Yes.
If he plays well this week, I think he has maybe possibly turned the corner. If he doesn't, he's still the same old Baker. If you give him time, like everybody, he can look great. If you pressure him, he is a garbage quarterback. If you can't play under pressure in the NFL, you cannot win. And you are not good.
The Ravens are pretty good against the run, right?
Yeah. No, the Ravens, this is why they beat the hell out of us, is because the Ravens can stop the run and pressure the quarterback. Those are two things they do great.
So here's the stats would say differently. The stats have Baltimore as the number 18 rushing defense in the league. But that I feel like maybe that's wrong, or maybe it's just teams don't really try it a lot because they know that they can stop it.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to tell you I'm worried about this game. I'm completely staying away from this game because of that very reason right there. And I don't know that they can stop our run game, by the way. I think our run game might be the best in the country, and
especially with Chubb back.
Yeah, with Chubb back, that's what I'm saying. You can slow us down. I don't know that you can beat us or stop it. The issue is going to be pressure on Baker.
McKinnon asked if Patrick Queen is still out.
Oh, no, that's huge. That's huge because that's the middle of the field, and that's where Baker throws a lot of interceptions.
Let's see, I'm looking up Roto World, and let's see, he is – well, no, that
Somebody
was
asked how good is the Browns' O-line. They're in consideration as the best O-line in football right now.
I think Patrick,
they went from 31 last year.
Yeah,
that's
to
one
being
away
one of the
from
best.
DFL to being the best, if not the best. They're in the conversations, top 2 or 3. Colts are up there. There's probably a few others, but not many great lines.
I don't see anything on Patrick Queen. I would imagine that he is going to play. Bertie said Queen got in last night, I think. And
Queen had an interception last night.
That's what it was. Yeah. So he's back. He's in. He's good.
I didn't know if you were talking about he got hurt.
Well, so he was out at one point. So somebody was asking, and I just
I'm sure if he played last night, unless he got hurt last night, I turned that game off early. It was just gone. But no, they're going to be a problem in the middle of the field. They're going to be a problem pressuring Baker.
Yeah,
I think going to be an issue.
Bertie said Browns are winning this one. It's on my gambling card.
I hope so.
And Casey said Browns money line. So
yeah,
okay.
Well, I mean, it's just a 1-point game. So yeah, I mean, you're not getting many points one way or the other. So yeah,
I do like the Browns defense. I don't think Lamar Jackson looks very good this year. He can look good against teams like the Cowboys. I think as the season has progressed, I think these two teams have flipped. So
I agree with that. When they beat the hell out of us at the beginning of the season, we thought they were one of the top 2 or 3 best teams in all the football. We thought Chiefs, Ravens were the number 1 and number 2 team in the league.
Yeah.
We don't think that today. We have a lot of data points to give us a different thing.
The Ravens were playing with confidence and everything else, and now maybe not so much. The Browns have developed throughout the season.
Yes.
They're playing much more cohesively. I mean, they looked fantastic to start last week.
So I know what Flores is doing is amazing. I think what Kyle Shanahan's doing is unbelievable. I think what Judge is doing is pretty remarkable. I think Stefanski has to be in this conversation as Coach of the Year.
Yes, 100%.
I'll tell you this. If for some reason Bill wins this game, if Bill can get into the playoffs this year, I think he needs to get in that conversation as well. The problem is Bills won 14, 15 games regularly and doesn't get coach of the year ever. I think he's only won it once.
That's pretty crazy. But I think
Yes.
once you get to a certain point, like they just don't even get the award.
Yeah, they don't care. The best thing they could do is name the award after him. I'm sure that all the Patriot haters would be devastated, but that's what they could do. Is just say you don't get to win it, you just are the award.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know that Miles. So they ask, can Miles get to Lamar? I don't know that he's getting to Lamar so much as he's just contained. Don't let him get outside.
Yeah,
It's
just don't
his
let him
job
run
to protect the edge.
Like the point for the Browns is not to get sacks. Like it's not even necessarily to pressure. The point is keep him in the pocket because he's not an accurate quarterback.
Contain him. I see. That's where we disagree. I think he's fine. I think he's above average or at average of the NFL. So
okay.
There's a lot of bad quarterback play out there, Gary.
No, there certainly is. There certainly is. All right.
I sent you a screenshot the other day of Baker, who had two guys, and nobody was within 9 yards of either one of them, and he missed the one guy he threw to by 15 yards. So,
yeah, no, I remember that.
I mean, to say Lamar's not accurate, all right, define accuracy.
Yeah, I guess that would be the point, right? That would be the point. Birdie said, "Be well, cash those tickets." He's getting out of here. We will too. Let's go on and run through our picks right quick. And NFL Week 14 official best bets. Let's go ahead and do this thing. I have got the Bears +1 at home against the Texans. I think they can run on the Texans. I don't think that they will rely so much on their passing game in this spot. I think the defense is good enough to be able to get stops, and that's what you need here. Give me the Bears at home. What's your first pick?
I'll take the Pats. I'll take Bill and points. Patriots +5.
I like that. Okay. And we already talked about that one. Next one for me, Titans -7.5 at the Jags. They own the Jaguars. This is a get-right spot. They were embarrassed at home by the Browns last week, and it ended up being a 6-point game. But my gosh, Ryan said, how can you take the Bears? What would I take the Texans? I mean, my gosh, it's just the worst of two evils, right? Titans -7.5 at the Jags is my play. I think the Titans get right this week. I think they come out swinging, and this is a team that you can swing on. The Jags have looked really, really good for weeks now, but this is one of those spots where I think the Titans are just the substantially better team.
All right. I'll go with you here. I got the Jags, and you can get them at +9. And I think they have been fighting like hell. They've been playing everybody close, and this Titans defense is a problem. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Jags can run on them. I think they can throw on them. I think they can score with them, which means it's really hard to blow them out.
Totally fair.
I'll take the number 9.
So how crazy is that you can get a 9 out there and I can get a 7.5? Like, that's insane. Packers -7.5 at the Lions. We already talked about this one. I know you're on the Lions here, but I am all over the Pack. They got their guys back healthy. I think that they can handle this one. Aaron Rodgers in a dome. I'm all over that. Give me the Pack -7.5.
All right, we're going head-to-head again. I'm taking the Lions. I like the +9, and I just think this is one of those things where this is a different football team now that they've got just the coach that everybody despised and loathed off their back. I think they're playing with a little looseness. I think they feel like they have nothing to lose, and so yeah, I think every one of these coaching staff is trying to interview for other jobs and showcase what they're capable of doing. And the Packers defensively have problems. I do not think the Lions will stop Rodgers at all, but I think they can keep it within 9.
Got a couple of guys jumping in with the Lions. We got Casey coming in with Packers cover big. Number 4 for me, Saints -7 at the Eagles. The Eagles are a trash football team. Jalen Hurts, as much as I love him and I hope successful things for him, I think that the Saints are just a way, way, way better football team, and I think that they end up smashing these dudes. This is a double-digit win all over it. I don't think the Eagles are very good at all, so give me the Saints to cover the 7.
My next pick, I'm taking the Giants. +2.5.
Right.
I think wrong team is favored. I think the Giants are going to win this football game.
I could get down with that. I could get down with that. I think we severely underestimated Joe Judge. Severely underestimated.
Yeah.
Last one for me. Not a lot of people like it. I understand it. Chiefs at the Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins plus the 7. I think this defense shows up. I think special teams here. The Dolphins are a significantly better team on special teams. I think the Dolphins find a way to at least keep this one close. Nobody will be expecting it. Of course, everybody's going to be all over the Chiefs. But I have seen enough from this Dolphins team that I think they're going to show up in this spot. This is one of those Super Bowl kind of games for them. I think the Dolphins cover the 7.
In my last pick, I'm taking the Bills minus the 2.5 against the Steelers. I just think the Steelers team's fraudulent. I've said it all year long. I've watched them play football. I have no idea how they're continually winning games. They can't run the ball, and they can't throw the ball farther than 10 yards. That just should not equate to 11, 12, 13 wins in a row. It just shouldn't. It just shouldn't. And finally, the football team took them down. They got close to losing a couple of other games that they should have lost, but they found ways to win. Got to give them credit for that. I think now that the air is out of the balloon, I think the balloon begins to leak quickly. So I will take the Bills minus 2.5.
You might be right about that. Casey jumps in. He said, Chiefs destroy the Dolphins. Dolphins cannot score with the Chiefs. I mean, maybe you're right. We shall see. Cruz said, all right, guys, got to go. Go Giants, big blue dub. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we got to get out of here as well. So go over to winningcureseverything.com. It's got everything you need to know about us. Go to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Is there anything else, Chris, that we need to hit?
Nope, that's it.
Nope. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Go follow us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE. Chris is at Chris B. Giannini. And then, of course, you can always follow us on Facebook and whatever else is out there, because I think we got several different spots. If you aren't already, follow us on all these different platforms where we do our Monday, Wednesday, Friday show. We will have a podcast exclusive out going over the college football weekend over on the Winning Cures Everything podcast tomorrow. So make sure you are subscribed there. Leave a nice 5-star review, all that good stuff. And that will do it. You guys take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And hopefully we can cash some tickets. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make